or showcase the amazing shirt that I'm wearing. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
And we are your hosts, Lo and Sharda, and this is Big Venus Energy.
Big Venus Energy. Today is Friday, so Big Venus Energy is in the house, isn't it?
Is it the first Friday?
It is probably,
Yeah,
because
it's only the
Monday
5th.
is when we had
Okay, yes, so.
It is the first Friday of the year.
Yes, first Venus day of the year.
Happy New Year, happy Big Venus Energy year. This is our year.
We have been discussing taking this to an even more elevated place, giving even more of our love and attention to it.
Yeah.
So this is why I wear the star card on my shirt.
Amazing.
You'll notice that it is a being pouring out of two vessels into more water, and the star is supposed to signify acknowledging that you are held by the universe, and it nourishes you and you nourish it. It is this hope that is bestowed. So, normally you wish on a star, you look for a guiding star.
Yes.
We are all stars. So I kind of was really intentional about wearing this shirt that I don't typically wear out in public a lot because it's a little profane.
It's not too bad.
It's not, but there are breasts, and we live in a very conservative area.
I can't see it that much. And, men's thingies are also... I don't understand this obsession about women's breasts being the sensual thing it is, and men's being... Of course, it is grosser, for sure. No question about the fact that, a worked out pec might be a little bit more nicer to look at,
sure.
right? But...
Are we talking about their appendages that hang?
Exactly. Like, why? Like, if that's again, here's the thing. I'm not trying to shame anybody. Let it hang. You don't get to judge somebody else's who is letting it hang. Like, everybody do their thing. You don't want to look at it, walk away. You don't want to wear clothes, don't wear clothes. Like, we as a human beings, intelligent species, society have deemed that covering up some portions of our sensitive portions of our body is a smart thing. Okay. On top of that, come on, we created fashion.
It's so interesting because most of these places that we are supposed to cover are also covered in hair. But for women, we are supposed to take the hair off, put a different cover on. Don't show it to me, but reveal it to me after you remove the layers that I deem appropriate.
Yes.
I think and then to somehow have men still describe what I will call my glorious bits and pieces as a workspace. You will literally read where men will make comments like, I prefer a clean workspace. Well, baby, use your desk as that area. Because just the simple fact of like the commodification, objectification of a woman's body. I've seen so much artwork about it recently.
I mean, the word objectification is... me and my husband, so funny. We were literally talking about this morning.
Oh, I love this.
In the bathroom. I was being very silly this morning, and I was having, a little fun. Right? Like, I was literally bugging my husband when he was trying to brush his teeth. Okay? I pulled down his shorts.
Oh, that's
right? And I'm just, like, we were just having... And the thing I didn't think through was the fact that I was brushing my teeth after he was brushing his teeth.
Oh,
So
okay.
he was...
Yes, revenge.
Revenge, 100%. But we were talking about the fact that, hey, I'm not a box of sweets, right? You shouldn't objectify kind of thing, like not in a serious form. We were like having a really good fun time about it. And there has been a recent movie which you should absolutely watch, and ask me for the name, Rocky or Rani Ki Kahani.
Yes.
And in that too, there is conversation and concept about objectification that comes up, right? it's okay as long as the other person is able to call out and you're not shaming the other person. Like, you are a object of incredible fashion sense, gorgeous beauty, right? She's gorgeous, right? I know I'm beautiful. Yes, you can absolutely look at me in all of those senses, but you cannot, however, diminish me to only that. And that is the definition of objectification, is when you determine my value is only, and it's tied to predominantly that, whether it is sexual energy, beauty energy,
Yes.
whatever those things are. One of the reasons why today I chose no makeup, zero. Like, I have lotion on my face and
Right.
that's about it. I went and stood in front of my mirror and I wanted to see whether I wanted to put makeup, right? And I'm like, I am not doing makeup today. I want this to be, my big Venus energy is going to be pure radiance from inside out.
Absolutely.
And I'm comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wearing an Aloha t-shirt. I got this in Hawaii.
I like it.
And I'm like, that to me, the concept of objectification, everything can be, I don't know, objectification, the word is everything can be appreciated for its beauty.
Absolutely.
However, cannot be reduced to only one thing.
I'm really happy that you made that comment, because as we were talking, I had my grandmother came to visit, and having my grandmother, my mother, and my daughter all in the same 4 generations of women.
And your daughter, her daughter is so smart, absorbs energy, can perceive things around her really well.
Mm-hmm. I was really happy that she was sick for a large part of the visit.
Not because she wants her daughter to be sick, there's
Right.
a reason,
Yes.
right?
Okay, so she was upstairs in her room, you know, from the 23rd on. But my grandmother looked at me and meant this as a compliment and said, "You missed your calling in life."
Oh.
I missed my calling, so it's over. You're so beautiful. You could have been a model. Thank you. I really appreciate that you think that I'm beautiful. But
But you missed it. You missed it. You're
I
now
missed
too
it.
old.
Yes.
You should have asked her, why can't I do it now? You should have let her
Like, what
fill
about
the
that?
blanks. Like, shall we fill the blanks for her?
I
I don't think we should. You could be. Like, here's the thing.
Everyone's an influencer these days.
Everybody, but it's not even that. It's not even about social media, right? If you want to go to broadcast, I've been reflecting a lot on my self-worth and self-esteem and self-confidence and all of that stuff for the last 2 years, right? When you met me, I was in one of my darkest phases in life. While I have spoken about it, and I can turn on, another funny topic again happened this morning with my husband in the bathroom, is I was being very silly and whatnot, and Hari is like, "Oh my God, you're being super silly today. You're being like high energy and super silly." I'm like, that could also be a front. My energy and silliness can often be a front, right? To anything that, because I always have put up a front, because I was told to put up a front. I was told to perform and, you know, all of that stuff. So when we met, which was 2 years ago, was one of my darkest places. Took a lot of work on me to reflect out of it and stop being so critical and hard on myself and all of that kind of stuff, that I now, 2023 has been this year of me being so confident in wanting to go try whatever I want to go try. My room here is filled with artwork, not because I want to sell it, because I've never had an opportunity to go to art class or art school to learn to do stuff. So I want to do. And I currently have the capability financially, myself, to be able to buy paper, buy paint pens, and do it. Like, I'm not looking for a grant. I'm so fortunate to be able to do it, right? I want to go take improv and stand-up classes. But I think, and I'm like, this concept used to be, when I was young, somebody had told me, can we put you in an advertisement, be a model? And my parents said, absolutely not. You haven't missed it, okay? If you want to do it, it's about whether you want to do it, because the confidence will come.
Yeah.
Whether it is doing a part, if you don't try it, you won't know whether you have feeling joy for it. Whether it is modeling, whether it's acting, whether it's theater. Also, by the way, I think you and I should do theater.
Oh my God.
Can we do it
Please?
this year? I think we will have the best fucking time doing it.
I've been thinking about that a lot because, obviously Ari's been in productions, and I was talking with another mother. I went to a gals gathering. I was social. That was crazy. I went to a holiday party for an old friend, someone who is in the improv community, who is also in the same industry that I've been in and out of for the last few years. Incredible woman. But went to her house for, what was it? It was supposed to be girl dinner themed. Gal gathering. I only brought liquid accoutrements as like regift. Girl dinner. I mean, what else? They had crackers.
Hey,
and
we girls maintain our shit by doing liquid diets, okay? So
it was cute. It was small. It was intimate. Some of the ladies who were there worked for an orchestra. In the administration, the Mesquite Orchestra.
I wasn't invited. I'm feeling so
I
left
got last
out.
minute invited. I got invited the morning of. It was an afterthought, but I still went. It was great.
No, I think that's amazing. I'm just, I'm little envious. That's it, just a tad.
But here's the thing. So now that I've been able to reconnect with this person, because she's had a very busy year. She's gone through a lot. These ladies that she surrounds herself with. So this one's a part of the orchestra. This one has done theater and acting her entire life, her and her husband, and is also like high up in the Girl Scout leadership with her daughter, who also does the same theater group that my daughter does, and they're the same age. And then there's another woman who shows up who does stand-up and does improv, right? So I'm in this room. It's hilarious. It's like little stand-up bits as we go around the room. I'm dying inside because I love to hold my tiny fake microphone.
Yes.
I'm going to start doing fake microphone interviews on people.
Yeah.
I want you all to know it's coming. If I walk up to you and I'm talking to my fist and I pass it over to you, I expect you to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
And answer my question.
Which means if the fist is not in front of your mouth, you do not open your mouth.
Right, it's not your turn. You're not holding it. But I do pass, often. So
you don't pass. You show, and you're still holding on.
I'm my way. I'm offering it to you.
Yes.
I haven't had anyone. Listen, if anyone decided to act like they were taking the mic from me, I would let you.
You know what? If it's a real mic, but your mic, you hold on. You never let anyone take your mic. Your voice is that in every single one of us. Like, do not let somebody else tell us when we can speak and when we cannot.
So great. That's one of my favorite things, I think, to disrupt in people.
Yeah.
I appear a lot younger to people than I am, which is hilarious.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. She is 18, 19, okay.
Oh, my mom, I was talking about, I kind of want to cut my hair, but I'm nervous about having it shorter, because I think if I have it shorter that I might lose some of my...
Yeah, you
elder flair. I don't know.
No, elder flair. Oh, you don't want to be. Listen, just cut it. You're overthinking it. My stylist is amazing.
Yes, I love
Holly. She is so cute. The three of them, including Holly, walked out of the salon they were working at mid-November because they had not been paid for 6 weeks, and there were so many issues happening.
Right.
You should totally meet them. They have just gotten themselves a little suite at the executive salon suites to
Okay.
do their own thing.
I need a stylist. I've been my own stylist for
Yeah, and I think you can
ever.
help them with if they want to do a little bit more advertising and marketing or whatnot.
Yes.
What an incredible individual she
That's
is.
what I love to do.
Yes.
So yeah, I do.
Small
I need
businesses.
it because my thing is my scalp has been rioting
Mm.
for months, and so when I was younger, I had psoriasis on my scalp.
Mm.
I used the product that worked, but
Mm.
smelled like terrible. It was called Neutrogena Tea Gel.
Mm.
Paul Mitchell also had the tea tree
Mm.
line. The tea tree oil is obviously what helped.
Mm.
So I've been using tea tree oil products again, but I haven't landed on one that hasn't made it feel dry and itchy and unbearable. I can't wear my hair in a hairstyle all day long.
Yeah.
I have to take it down.
Yeah. I can't. One of the reasons why I cut my hair is because if I pull it together, it will hurt.
Yes.
It totally does. I mean, I don't know what it is. I think naturally we are not meant to tie our hair.
Okay.
Okay. Because they are sensitive,
Yes.
parts on the brain. Naturally, we are not meant to tie our hair. Which animal you see ties their hair? But again, humans, right?
Right.
We are supposedly intelligent. So we can tie our hair so that we can see better and whatnot. But I had noticed from young, my parents did not let me cut my hair.
So
On the
very
flip
long.
side, I mean, not very long. When I say did not let me cut my hair, did not let me cut my hair short.
Right.
Okay, I always trimmed, but did not let me cut my hair short. On the flip side, my sisters, the second child, lot more maintenance, 7 years younger than me, they cut her hair to a boyish cut. Okay, so my sister likes to grow her hair. Me, I like to keep my hair a little short. Both of us actually have very similar length. She has like maybe 3 inches on me right now. But I've noticed whenever I used to have to tie, it hurts.
It hurts.
It totally hurts. Doesn't matter half, doesn't matter full. Just it's the weight, togetherness
The
of the
tension.
gravity.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
So I have gravitated towards more clips like this
But babe,
that spread it out.
cut your
I have
hair.
to take it down.
I think you should cut.
I kind of am feeling it.
cut,
Okay,
cut,
so
cut.
we're gonna see
But
how
you
it
do
goes.
have gorgeous hair though.
It gives me a lot of options. I need options, even though it makes me take longer to get
But-
places.
But exactly,
Yeah.
it takes so long to maintain it. I like showering at night.
Oh yes.
Okay. The problem is though, it takes longer to dry my hair, and I want to do air dry,
Okay.
right? Unless I need to get, it is best for your hair to air dry.
Absolutely.
Okay. What I do is, I grew up in India, so I learned the practice of wrapping your hair after you like towel dry and whatnot, wrapping your hair in towel so that it continues absorbing the moisture. You can put a little bit of leave-in conditioner
Right.
and then wrap it. Leave it there for a little bit as you put moisturizer
Yeah.
and whatever else. And then you remove it, you comb it through, and then you let it air dry. Can't do it when you shower at 9 p.m.
No, then you have to have another about hour and a half of doing something where you're. This is my trick.
Correct. Hour and a half?
I-
No, I don't want to stay up for hour and a half.
I do this little number
Mm-hmm.
and bring air into it, and we'll
Which
like
is a
flip it.
very,
Yes.
very good thing.
And it's good for volume. It's
It
also
is.
good for your scalp that you've just taken all your moisture away from.
And it's also good for your, they say add some oils.
Mhm.
It's actually good for your hand oils to get in versus
Yes.
actually artificial oils to get in.
All in sebum.
But so I can't, if I have to wash my hair, it has to be before 8 p.m., which is hard if I'm playing tennis or something like that, because I don't even come home until like 9:30, 9 p.m.
It's interesting, right? I love the concept of showering at night. However, I think I'm also going to be investing in a bonnet this year,
Bonnet.
a night bonnet
Okay.
for your hair.
Okay.
My hair is very fine.
It is. Both our hairs are fine.
Yes,
right?
very
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
So it's not thick, but it is shaped very easily,
Yes.
which is why when my hair is damp, I will twist it
Mm-hmm.
and give myself natural body.
Yes.
So pillows. I'm a side sleeper. I'm trying to do better.
No, side sleep is good.
It's supposed to be really bad for aging.
Oh.
Well, let me tell you, I'm aging very naturally, although I have some, and I would
What
love
am-
feedback on this.
I know these things that people have put out there. This shit is bad for aging. That shit is bad for aging. Guys, we're all yes. Anything that's squishing your face, it's like side sleeper is actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, especially if you put a pillow between your two knees.
Yes.
Right.
for
It's
hips.
good for your
Mhm.
spine and whatnot. Flip a little bit, but let's break this thing down about aging. Got no choice but to age.
It's a blessing to age. People have choices.
What
but
a
it's a blessing.
blessing to age. We talked about this last year, right? You are in your mid-30s.
Yes.
I'm in my getting close to mid-40s, but early 40s.
Yes, early
I'm going to
40s.
say early 40s.
It's
I'm going to
early.
stick to it. But in my last 2 years, I've lost 5 girlfriends around this age group in my 40s, literally in the 40s. They're between 41 and 50.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to be here continuing to age,
Yes.
right? So this is it is a privilege.
Mm.
It is not a right. It is a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
You have all the right to live your life your way, but to be able to live is a privilege. You never know the number of people who were taken because of pandemic, and number of people. My husband and I were watching TV yesterday, sitting and watching the Beckham series. If you have not watched it on Netflix, it's good.
I watched the first episode. I agree.
It's good,
Mhm.
right? It's necessary to for us to see and reflect. And I think he does a really good job of reflecting, and you can also see where he's not able to fully reflect.
Mm-hmm.
So we were sitting and watching, and there was a sound that was coming from above. We're like, what is this sound that's coming? We paused the TV. It was an airplane. And both of us looked at each other. We're like, okay, it's an airplane. And we're like, I said to him, can you imagine being in places like Gaza or Ukraine or any of those places like Kashmir or, Sudan
Lebanon
or
right
whatever,
now.
Lebanon, that you hear an airplane and you're filled with fear
I have goosebumps.
and panic and anxiety that something is going to get dropped from the sky. We are very privileged to be, living survival basic, using that sandbox we have to find our footprint and our freedom and our joys that we can control. Very important. If I die tonight, what regrets am I going to have? I keep having this conversation with myself. Got to have it. Otherwise, it's not a constant about taking care of others. Or like the reason why I keep certain things clean is because I need.
You need it.
I need it, right? I need but it's not excessively clean. You just came and saw, look at this pillow that usually is on that side, and but it's still comfortably clean, right? And we have to understand our privilege. It's really critical.
It's so important. I have to try better to have more balance and joy. That is my goal this year, is to try to find more joy. I'm not saying I'm without it often. I think that I more so have joy with people. When I'm alone, it's a little bit harder for me because I think a lot. But it's also been really curious and shocking to consider how much of a privilege it is to live in a place where we, while there is some fear in existing here, it's not like it is in other places. And so that truly amidst tragedy and loss and atrocities against humanity, genocide, life is so precious, and life is a culmination of the everyday moments, right? and loving yourself. I was talking with one of my very good friends recently about body dysmorphia. And they expressed to me that they couldn't really empathize with body dysmorphia. They couldn't, and that was hard for me because I grew up having body dysmorphia. I look a lot different now than I did when I was younger. I repeat this often. It took me years to get comfortable being in a small body because I wasn't a small body person. And the body dysmorphia that came with that, the face dysmorphia that I have.
Apparently, according to your grandmother, you missed your calling.
I missed my calling, I know. Yeah. But I also hit a windshield when I was 11 years old with my face. I hit a windshield, slid down the windshield. The left side of my face has a lot of scar tissue. The man that was in the ER was training to be a plastic surgeon, so was able to help coach my mother on how to take care of my wounds so the scarring would be minimal. And you really can't tell. I can see some of it now that I am aging, where the scar tissue is, where my eyes maybe aren't even. But I want to, all of this to say, face yoga, face exercises are so fun.
If not anything else, it's fun.
Let me tell you why this is fun, okay? And you really probably can't. If you have friends you could do face yoga with, you will laugh. I hope you have joints.
I'm doing it right now. I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, right. Anyways, okay. So there's a lot of them where you make faces. You go, tuck your mouth in. Okay.
You're talking like you're doing.
Okay, but anyways, and you can feel it stretching the muscles here.
Yeah.
And it's so powerful just to consider all of the way that we can move our faces. And we're all obsessed with toning, right? Tone your thighs, tone your tummy, get Botox in your face. Tone your face. Okay, I love this concept. I also have this question though. I don't know the answer necessarily. But these are muscles. If you can gains your glutes, can you gains your mouth? Your auricularis oris. If I were to sit here and do exercises all day.
This is what we're going to take from Kardashians. Okay? Not the big butt, it's the pout.
Okay, if I'm doing lip exercises, will my lips grow?
So I don't know whether it's about growing, right? Because you can't grow something that you fundamentally, your body structure cannot support. It doesn't have. When I teach Pilates, the days I literally, especially the days after I have either seen a Kardashian post on Instagram or I've watched their show when I'm doing laundry, which is my favorite time to watch their show. I will get into some butt exercises.
I love it.
I'll talk about, guys, who wants Kardashian butt? Whether you like it or not, that's what you're getting today. And we'll go into a lot of glute exercises.
I love glute exercises.
Not everybody has, however, that much glute muscles, right? Everybody's amount of glute muscle is different. Mine, much lesser than somebody else's. I actually have quite little glute muscle, but I can still strengthen what I have.
Yes.
Right? Everybody, we cannot grow that. There is no way to. Can you tone it? Yes. Can I make it 3x it? Not possible, because that's the amount of muscle I have. I can strengthen it, I can tighten it, whatever muscle I have, but I can't add to it, because everybody has muscle. There is a difference between muscle and fat. People think you're converting muscle to fat and fat to muscle. No, two very different things.
Absolutely.
You can get rid of fat and you can strengthen your muscle. We all have muscle. Even the person who is in coma or paraplegic and can't walk have muscle. There is no way we don't have the muscle. You just have weak muscle
or
versus
atrophy.
A strong. Exactly. Versus we have to move the muscle to be able to add toning to it, strengthening to it, lengthening to it. Fat is a layer. on top.
Yes, adipose.
Correct. So this is, this is not going to give you extra. It might tighten it, but it piggy snouts. But I like it. I really like. Everybody can do their thing. Okay,
Yes.
This is why, as humans, we have folks who have put in time and effort into learning about the human anatomy and getting into surgery and
Yes.
whatnot and Botox and everything else. Do you just understand the consequences? Do you anything for your own self-esteem? But just don't look at as best as you can. Very, very, very hard. But why worry about what the other person thinks of you? If they can't, the people who are thinking about you are not thinking about you all the time.
Right.
Right? They got other shit. Most often, they don't want to think about themselves.
And if they are, that's obsession, and it can be dangerous. And we should maybe talk about some of those things.
But often it is because they do not want to spend the time thinking about themselves.
Truly.
And that is deflection.
Mm.
Take the time to think about yourself. Understand yourself. What makes you you? Why is it important? Why is it not? You were talking about finding joy.
Mm.
I'm going to flip that and
Okay.
see whether something else could help in 2024. And
Okay.
see, first and foremost, can't do anything without actually mindfully practicing it. Okay, you gotta want to purposefully practice something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it cannot come like that. Okay, whether you want to do modeling, whether you want to cook, doesn't matter. Okay, even this, right? Instead of finding joy, which you should,
Mhm.
okay, before you can get to a place of finding small joys in things, start eliminating things that doesn't give you joy. It actually adds anxiety or adds frustration or adds. So there is a saying in Tamil. Tamil is my mother tongue.
Right.
Okay, it's the language spoken in Tamil Nadu, southeast state, southernmost east state in India. And my mum used to say these words to me growing up.
Say it again. I feel like I know the saying.
Dushtana kanda dura vilagu.
That's the one.
Okay, literally translates to Dushtan is bad person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, evil person, bad
Dushtan.
person. Dushtana kanda, if you see, okay, if you feel the presence, if it's around you, like Dushtana kanda, okay, if you see it, dura vilagu, create distance. Dura is distance,
Yes.
velag is get away. Okay. If you see something that's not working for you, whether it is a person, what can you control? You can't control what they are doing. Your grandma, your mother,
Mm-hmm.
people around you, Texas, doesn't matter. What you can do is remove yourself and pull away from a situation that isn't working for you. And put yourself in a situation that you do have control on. When we can't understand the concept of what do I have in control, what do I not have in control, you can't control what another person is going to say, what they're going to
No.
think, let alone say, what they're going to act on. But you can control what you are going to do. You can step away from it for your own mental state. So only when you can create space, removing the bad, the disturbed, the evil, the thing that is pulling you down, can you then find space to do something of contentment and joy.
This is a really big theme in my life right now. Big news that happened for me in early December is I unexpectedly lost my job. In a way that it was framed to me, it was removed from assignment due to unsustainable human capital costs. And that was tough. A lot of my team was shocked. And that was reassuring to me. So it wasn't anything that I did, just they couldn't afford me, which is also a compliment in some ways. But
getting laid off in a time so late in Q4, knowing that there aren't a lot of jobs to be had in the time that I lost it, and then reconsidering all of the possibilities of what could be, has given me the gift of time, more time to dedicate to projects and things that I know my soul needs. So this year, I brought up that I've always wanted to play a string instrument. So when I played instruments, I played woodwinds, which is very funny. It's air. I played the flute. I love the flute. Will always love the flute. Can still memorably play some, like probably the B flat scale.
I don't know what she's talking about, but okay.
Yes, okay, so scales. But I bought a keyboard a few years ago at a Goodwill, and I had bought an app that I probably need to re-up on, and learned how I would sit every day in front of my window in Seattle and play the keyboard. And I make Ari play the keyboard. I have pictures of her sitting next to our kitten playing the keyboard. I will never forget how much joy I felt playing Somewhere Over the Rainbow for the first time on the keyboard. And it's kind of hard.
Yes.
Okay, it's like, I don't have piano hands.
We all have it. Just practicing.
Yes, but I will tell you.
Long fingers.
Yes, I have little hands, and I'm learning. Oh yeah, we have about the same size.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to stretch them. It's about a stretch. I was learning, and I was so happy about it. And I've known forever that I love playing music. I remember being at a Dixie Chicks concert when I was young.
Oh.
Okay. And I remember they had a violinist, a fiddle person, a person who plays the violin. I don't know the correct term for it. But they were headbanging and playing the violin on stage at a country festival. It was like the George Strait Festival in Houston. I was enamored. I was in awe. I was like, that energy. Like, playing a classical instrument and headbanging to it? Yes, fuck yes. Please, more, I need it. And so for a long time I thought, I want to play the violin. I love the way string instruments sound. I would love to play classical guitar. The app was called Simply Piano. So if you're listening and you maybe want to give me a free trial, I would love to talk about it. You do Simply Piano. They also have Simply Guitar. And they also do Simply Voice. So you can do all of those things on Simply Piano. I'm going to play music this year.
Yes.
I'm also going to finish my Spanish studies. So by the end of this year, what I already know in Spanish, I would more so like to be able to conversate in a way that I have confidence.
Yes.
Because that's what has been stopping me. I have not been wanting to participate in a way, and it's lost a lot of my ability to communicate because of that. So
confidence is such a concept that people don't realize. It comes from mostly allowing yourself to fail and being okay with it.
yes.
Because practice makes you better. Doing better helps you participate. When you participate and you're better and you constantly practice, you win. When you win, you get confidence, right? But the innate allowing yourself to trying should far exceed failing. We're getting coffee this morning, and one of the conversations we had in the car was how, as a narrative in a society, we've all taken not just pride but also put the pressure out there that be hard on yourself. Don't let others criticize you. Not that others can't criticize you. If they criticize you, you be harder on yourself. Be hard on yourself. Work on yourself. Yes, work to improve, but start with it's okay to fail and keep trying if that brings you joy. Trying should bring you joy.
It should.
It totally. I really am looking forward to hosting you and Stephanie. Stephanie's a friend of mine who over last year picked up wanting to learn guitar.
Oh, I love this. Okay.
Right? So we can have a jam session
Yes.
here. I will not do anything except feed you guys and sing badly in notes. I used to be a reasonably good singer, but all of that stuff, like I go for it, enjoy it. It's you have on YouTube there are free piano
Yeah.
simple lessons. Even if you don't download something off
Mm-hmm.
cost. I'm looking forward to you enjoying piano. And by the way, I have a piano here.
Amazing.
AJ's keyboard, not a
Yeah.
piano, keyboard. So you can come
Come
here.
here and play. I am excited about it because I want to be able to do things like your art that aren't motivated by hustle.
Or trying to make,
I like art for the sake of art.
yeah.
I love being able to do things that I can feel. So I brought it up to my grandmother. It's so fun. I learned so much from spending a small amount of time with my grandmother. I, for my own mental health, have distanced myself from a large portion of my family for reasons that it's better for all of us. And it doesn't diminish the fact that I have reverence and hold space and love for them.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to be around them because I will bring up.
Yeah.
They say that they don't ever know what to get me for gifts, and so I get things like wine glasses for Christmas. I don't really drink, and things that they would enjoy, and that's sometimes how people give gifts. But I brought up like, hey, next year, if you all as a collective family would like to invest in a secondhand but very nice cello, I would be so over the moon. And they're like, what for? And I'm like, because a cello, can you imagine? I want to sit and I want to feel it resonate my entire body. This big wooden piece of beautifulness. I want that. And regardless of if it comes from someone else or I come upon it myself, I'm okay. But I know that that is a feeling in my life that I will regret not experiencing.
1,000%.
Regardless of what it gets me.
Dude, go work in a music store.
Do you think?
Yes. I think you should go work in a music store, even if it's part-time.
Yeah.
Just to explore, right, what it is to be around that. Go work in a music teaching place and explore that, because gift giving. I'm gonna not digress too much,
Right.
But gift giving, we have created a environment where we ask people what they want, and especially now inculcating it in our children and whatnot, versus taking the time to understand what the other person might. So it's about us versus, hey, how do I give a better gift by understanding them without
should be so
asking.
thoughtful. Right.
Talk versus ask, right? When you said to your family, oh my God, a cello would be great, instead of reacting, why? Like, oh my God, why? That, oh my God, why? Slightly different tone. Because one tone is about, let me understand you better. This is curious. This is interesting. This is about you, versus, I am gonna shame you right now because that seems like a waste
You're
of
a
time.
grown-up. Right. What are you wasting your time on? And that was kind of the theme that kept recurring, even to my mother, where it was like, shut down, instead of being interested in nurturing what you're interested in.
But that is the if we reflect back on where their life used to be, and as adults they were all going through, and even when they were younger, is find something that was sustainable and keep doing it, because you need to sustain and survive. So they were all focused on one thing. As a child, there was indulgence in for you to try few different things.
Right.
But the moment you hit middle school, right, you start thinking about grades, getting
future.
into high school, getting into college, having a job, having a career, kind of thing where the joy of exploring, if it isn't leading to something substantial, such as getting money from it,
Yes.
it feels like it is a waste of an adult's time. That took me a lot. It was so much pressure for me that one of the reasons why I was in a very dark place and was me trying to break free from it. Right? Why I have gotten into Pilates, teaching, art, reading more, because I actually want to write. I'm a shitty writer. Okay?
I haven't read anything, but I don't like that you said that about yourself.
I not to be critical of myself. I'm a shitty writer. The reason I'm saying that is because the way I write is far too analytical. So I'm like, how do I add emotion into it? And I'm learning, right? I literally woke up one day, I had not even gone to sleep, but this was at like 11:40, and I said, honey, I'll be right back. I went out and I wrote something on my notebook for an idea for a novel, right? And then I have to build on top of it. I don't know how to build on top of it. So I'm reading, and I'm enjoying really interesting novels right now because I'm reading how to tell a story. I want to go take a creative writing residency class. I want to take a art residency class. I don't know how to do these things. My husband was asking me 2 days ago. We were just sitting and talking about various different things, and he asked me about my art. He had walked into my office. He'd seen all of these things that I've done, papers everywhere, and he's like, "So, what kind of art form and style do you gravitate towards?" He asked me this question. Okay, and I'm like, I don't know yet. I have not had the opportunity to explore. I never took an art class where they said, draw a tree, draw a human being, draw a vase. No one gave me those opportunities to explore. I don't know it yet. So I am looking through things and figuring out what all kind of things I actually want to try, just try. I don't want that much realism, but can I create a realistic drawing? Can I sketch? Do I need to be good at it? No. Do I want to try it? Yes. Do I get frustrated? Yeah, my wrist hurts. It hurts when you're like this. But it took me a lot. I am 43, y'all. My kid, when I was in my 30s, I had my kid. And I learned so much from raising that child. How much I was supporting that child to learn exploring. And I explored with him because I wanted him to feel like it's okay to explore. Whether it was me pulling him into the kitchen to cook, sitting and drawing. But I started realizing I didn't sit and draw for that long. Right? I gave him the things. Then what did I do? I went to my computer to work, or did laundry, or cleaned the kitchen, or the bathroom, or did whatever else I thought my time needed to be spent on. Versus actually sitting down and letting everything else go away and enjoying what I was doing in front of me, even if I was not so great at it. Just the joy of doing. So your piano thing, I really hope you do it.
Oh, I'm totally going to.
Yeah, I think you letting the pressures of what it means to be an adult out to just find the joy in trying.
I'm excited for that because much like you're describing, I used to sit with Ari and do art. I grew up never having that opportunity. I got a C in high school art. The best drawing I ever made in art was of a chair. I was so proud of this chair that I drew. But still got a C. My art teacher took it very seriously. I went to a small rural Texas school. Her favorite quote, her name was Mrs. Oates. Sharon Oates, I think is her name. If she is still putting life out into the world and energy, I am so grateful. Her favorite saying was, eat shit and die. But she taught me so much about having a respect for it. And for a long time, I thought I couldn't do art because I got a C in high school art and where I went. I took so much joy and pride in creating art with Ari that I, when Drew would come home, I'd be like, look what I made. Or I would like share it with my friends. And it would be so juvenile. It would definitely look like a child painted it. But my inner child was so proud and so happy. And so there is this reward in being able, I call it art therapy, I call it inner child therapy.
Yes.
Climb a tree sometime. But just noticing that connection gave me more confidence in being able to, like you said, try something new. Do it just for the sake of doing it. I bought watercolors this last year and did some cool watercolor painting. There's just so much that I want to try.
Correct. And the reaction of adults when it comes to children's work at some point starts shifting from the effort to the outcome. So which is why I don't often show my art out, right? Because it is effort, it is the thought that not everybody understands what goes into it. Everybody is seeing outcome. Every single person wants to judge on outcome. And it's very, very, very hard to know that the outcome is going to resonate with a lot of people. So you have to be incredible something for somebody to appreciate the fact that you did something of joy, of taking time, of thinking it through, or trying to think it through, right? You said something about, you said you got a C in art.
I did.
I implore people who, especially as educators out there, when you teach writing and art, please remove grading. Remove fucking grading.
Thank you for
You should have gotten supreme A+. Every kid, every human being should get it. Just because I don't write it the way one teacher might perceive as the right way to write, I'm telling you, one of the reasons I stopped writing
was because of your English teachers.
Was because of my English teachers.
I
had incredible English teachers, but the expectation was you need to write a certain level in a certain way. Art is also like that. You don't. You write your way. You draw your way. You paint your way. You create music your way.
Right.
It doesn't have to resonate with others. Can it just start with you?
And nurturing that. And I think that is something that we should shift. So if you are an ELA art teacher right now, English language arts and reading, I implore you, like Sharda said, to nurture. I had a conversation recently with my daughter's teacher, and we had a conversation about it where she made her completely rewrite her story because she didn't like the storyline, the plot, the idea behind it. And I had to write her kind of a passionate email about just because her story isn't what you wanted her to write. Don't diminish the creativity there. I remember I got an award from a university when I was in pre-AP English. And I don't have the level of joy and reverence from being recognized for my creative writing skills, more so than I remember every one of my English teachers being so supremely critical and disinterested and disappointed that I didn't write. I didn't think I was a good writer until I met people like you, until I started writing in a journal or sharing in a circle, or even when I was bartending. I was talking about this last night. I used to carry what I called a community spiral. I would take it to work. I would either write in it about dreams I had or observations, and then I would share it with other people to also then write what they were experiencing or draw pictures. And it was just this community artwork. And they would sit there and they would affirm me and my ability to write, like, oh my gosh, you write so beautifully. What do you mean I write beautifully? Every teacher that ever read my work and graded it hated the way I wrote. And so it is to be an adult then, and then to try and be like, maybe I should write more.
I can see it affecting Ari and my kid, and like my kid would write very simplistically, and he will try to write things within like 7 lines. And teachers would criticize him. You're not putting in enough effort to write a bigger, longer story.
Right.
He wrote 7 lines of story. That's okay.
Right.
You don't need to find faults. You can sit and have a conversation about, oh, what did you mean by that? He is a more verbal person. Ari might be a different kind of person. Just because somebody isn't doing it the way you think, this is our problem as a society.
Right.
Especially, doesn't matter whether it's corporate world, doesn't matter social media, doesn't matter reporters, doesn't matter politicians, doesn't matter educators. If we can't be open to the uniqueness of a human being and want to put everybody in a box and say, you gotta do this for perfection, which is why I excelled at math and science, because I knew what the final answer was.
Yeah.
There was no deviation from it. I stopped reading and writing when I hit late stages of middle school because of the expectation of how wonderful that needs to be. I really stopped enjoying writing. College essays were so hard for me because the way you're expected to write and portray is like, oh, I'm going to be this phenomenally great in doing these things, and I've done all of these things in my past that will make me so great. Was I had to rewrite cover letters. Like, we keep looking at past proven elements to talk about potential. You gotta see passion in wanting to try.
Absolutely. And struggle, I think, is something too, because right now we're moving into this world of AI. I don't participate in these conversations, but I take them in and I read and observe. So there was an artist, right now I don't know their name, I don't know the name of the artwork, but it's essentially just this canvas that was painted blue. And it is such a blue that it emotes. It is the bluest blue. It is indescribable, but it's not flat. It was a culmination of, you know, the different paints that he used, the different strokes and shades and creation of this very blue. And then to have AI come along and people who are really invested in AI, and I can see it being used as a resource and a tool. I've experimented with using AI for writing if I feel like I need to say it a different way, or if I'm running into a block, because at a certain point after revision, so many times you lose a little bit of creativity.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I love AI for that, but it's not perfect. And it's also, you can't replicate something or expect an algorithm or machinery to be able to give you that emotion, to convey those things. You know, I read poetry. I love reading James Baldwin. I love seeing his interviews and reading his quotes because of the eloquence that's born out of observation and struggle and repetitive dedication, consistency and pouring it out. You know, Joan Didion, reading her works, reading her journal things. It's to see it as a process, to see it, and you can't get that from machinery. You can't get that from AI. It's not going to emote to you because it's not the language.
But I think that's where we have to be understanding of what artificial intelligence. It is not emotional intelligence.
No.
Okay. And so you watched Beckham.
Yes.
Okay.
Only the
You watched the
first
first
episodes, yeah.
episode, right? In the first episode, he talks about how he's not intelligent,
Mm.
right? I'm a football player.
Mm-hmm.
He did not so great at school. I don't know
Right,
whether
I
first
saw
episode
that,
is
yeah.
first episode, right? And I was thinking, dude, but you're brilliantly intelligent.
Yes.
I think we box terminology like smart and intelligence to a very, very, very narrow element and areas.
Mm.
Beckham, anybody who plays sports, anybody who creates art, every person is intelligent
Mm-hmm.
and smart on their own areas. On how much you want to grow it, it's up to you.
Right.
He grew his intelligence in football by practicing it over and over and
Yes.
over again. His intelligence in understanding what his body can do, his intelligence in how what a ball can do, his intelligence in how to add spin, his intelligence in how to run, his intelligence in what to eat, how to work out. Those are all intelligence.
Right.
What position to play. That is not the same as being able to take data and analyze it.
Mm.
A human brain cannot process million pieces of data the way a computer can.
No.
Okay? Technology is something humans, we are creating to simplify things that we need to simplify so that as humans we have space and time to do more things with our emotion. Telephone. There were many jobs that were not needed
Mm-hmm.
plugging a wire from one to the other when wireless came on,
Mm-hmm.
right? We didn't go around saying, oh my God, it's going to kill jobs. It is transforming us,
Mm-hmm.
okay? So those who are buying art or poetry or books that are written for mass consumption and mass thing can maybe see AI spitting out something.
Absolutely.
And you're going to use it. For advertising, great. For copywriting, great. Writing a book, okay, no problem with it. But the people who are creating it, the people who are in jobs, doing stuff, guys, you have to evolve. Do not diminish and put yourself in boxes of, my job is in jeopardy. Your job is always in jeopardy. You have to work yourself out of your job every 90 days. If you as an individual do not figure out a way to keep improving on what you are doing, to do it smarter every 90 days, you cannot get into it. That level of intelligence and commitment only a human should do. If you are like, I am comfortable where I am at, I just want to keep doing this, and don't let anybody touch that, sorry.
It's interesting because that was something I really valued about this last year for myself, was the constant evolution. And I was kind of trying to be hard on myself about that because I'm not super methodical. I'm not. I don't rely on routine. I don't rely on schedule. I've always been able to pride myself on, I can show up and do it. I can learn it. I can figure something out. I can find a way. And it served me. And I can walk into any situation and find a solution. I really like that about myself as a consultant. I'm very creative in that way, where I don't necessarily need you to tell me how to do it. If you can tell me what it is right now
Yes.
and where we're trying to go with it,
You'll figure it out.
dirty car,
Yeah.
I can make it, I can put something together. And I find that it's hard necessarily to make that sound like a valuable skill
Yes.
on paper. I'm dynamic. I'm creative problem solving. I can create project management structure very
Yes.
easily.
Yes.
I can, distill certain information, but it's collaborative for me. As a sole participant, I struggle to finish what I start. In a group, though,
Absolutely. You will drive it.
I can also encourage you, though. I can give you some directions and
Yes.
options. I also like sounding boards,
Yep.
right? And I love that kind of that effort. So I love that you said that about people. I hope that you can take that snippet of information if you're not working yourself every 90 days into doing something maybe innovative about what you're doing. If you're finding out something new about it, if you know, and even if it's not something that gets implemented right away,
Mm-hmm.
you never know who's going to join your team,
Mm-hmm.
who it might benefit to work that way. You never know who's going to walk into a room, and much like you're talking about with your son and how he writes, what is going to communicate to someone else in order for them to achieve? How are you going to support someone else to be able to achieve what they are supposed to if there aren't multiple resources available?
Yeah.
You know, not everybody likes black tea, you need green tea.
Mhm.
And everybody wants green tea because of the caffeine. So you have herbal tea, white tea, red tea. If we all stopped to think about how we could continue to adapt while using some of our resources, and that's going to be a huge theme. I want you to understand. Not necessarily this year, but the astrology of 2025 and 2026 is going to be unavoidable radical change. This is where we're at. There's a podcast called The Happiness Lab,
Mm-hmm.
and their series right now is focused on how to exist in our rapidly changing world with, I forget the term that they used, global climate heating. We're getting hotter, the sea level is rising. While there's all these other things happening, the unavoidable concept of our environment being different every step of the way from here on out is real. And it wants us to be able to, we're not processing this threat.
Yes.
It's not imminent, it's not happening tomorrow. There's nothing we can do individually that's going to be able to change that.
Mm-hmm.
But if we as a collective recognize that small acts that are sustainable for ourselves can make a measurable difference in how we're able to respond and adapt to these changes, because that's what's going to happen. That we can exist in a space with less anxiety, with less fear, with less avoidance,
Mhm.
because that is something you will see, because it's a very overwhelming issue.
Yeah.
Where people will just avoid it, like, oh, do you have to bring it up? It makes me feel things. And I really admired that approach,
Mm-hmm.
because I want to be that kind of influence on the world.
And to our kids.
Yes, doing small things makes a huge difference.
Huge.
Doing, and I just want to emphasize that, doing the smallest thing can make the biggest difference if we do it over and over again, or find small ways to just adapt or change or be resourceful to find wealth
Mm-hmm.
in the unimaginable. You don't know what could happen, but you could try it out.
And it's already a no when you don't try something. It's already a failure. It's already non-existent when you don't try something. We will leave you with that. We are running at the very end. It's 10:30 for us.
Yeah.
Right? This has been an incredible conversation this morning.
I'm so excited about
So
it.
excited. Can't wait for the next chapter in this 2024 and what we're going to do with
Yeah.
Venus
Stay
energy,
tuned.
being authentic, being honest, and being comfortable with each other.
Mhm.
And I can't wait for a new team member to
Yes,
join,
attracting.
so that we can, hopefully expand our conversation beyond the two of us.
I'm excited. So I hope you are too. I hope the rest of your day is great. And we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Bye.